Hello everyone, welcome back to A Song at Tara, our Werewolf, the Apocalypse 20th Anniversary Edition Chronicle. I'm joined tonight by everyone. Hello everyone.
Hello.
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 Hello. Yeah, and before we even get started tonight, there's something I want to say as the storyteller here. I'm just going to jump in and steal the floor for a few minutes.
No, it's fine.
Today is the 12th of June, 2016. We don't normally date these, but today I do. It's my choice to do so. I'm doing so because of what has happened in Orlando, Florida earlier today, where the worst mass shooting in American history has taken place at an LGBT nightclub, where at the moment of recording this, there are 50 dead and 53 wounded. The reason why I want to say a few words before we get started is that in this group we have L's, we have G's, we have B's, and we have T's. And we have people here who are as straight as arrows. We are all friends. We have been friends for years, in some cases for many years. And from time to time we disagree and we can even argue. But we remain friends. Because at the core of us all, we are decent, kind, honest, friendly, genuine and earnest people who want nothing but the best for our fellow human beings, for each other, as well as for those we don't know. What happened today in Orlando, Florida is a crime against more than the LGBT community. It's a crime against all decent, kind, honest, friendly, genuine, earnest people everywhere. But we are the ones who were attacked. Our community. People died because of who they love. So, I know not many people listen to this. But to you, dear listener, on behalf of this small group of friends, I ask you to please ponder what has happened in Florida today. Hatred is ugly, and it is wrong. Please send your thoughts to the bereaved, and if you listen to this and you are in a place where you can help in any way, please do so. Thank you.
Yeah, our thoughts go out to the bereaved.
Indeed. Yeah.
So, yeah, of course we realize that if you tune in to watch this, you probably didn't tune in to, have a bomb dropped on you like this. And for that we apologize, but this happened just as we were about to record. Everyone kind of feel the need to do this, right? We need to just get our mind off stuff and continue doing what we planned. And
absolutely.
And but at the same time, it felt wrong to let it go unaddressed. It didn't feel like that was going to help anyone. So here we are.
Yes.
Apologize for any inconvenience, but at the same time, this is something that needed to be done, something that needed to be said.
We need to acknowledge a moment of genuine grief and suffering on behalf of other people. We need to acknowledge that it has affected us.
Yeah.
And then we can move on to hopefully enjoy an evening that will have some good role-playing experiences and hopefully some levity, because
hopefully so, yes.
The world turns, people move on through life, and
absolutely.
It's important as it is to acknowledge the tragedy. It is also important to continue on for their sake.
Oh, absolutely, and well, obviously the whole point of terror is to try and make us change the way we live, and I refuse to let that happen. So, let us have some fun.
Let us in fact do that. So, everyone, as I said earlier, welcome back to A Song at Tara. We will now proceed with the role playing. And to do that, first we should address what happened last time, because last time was the end of our rite of passage.
Ooh, pick me.
Go on, Chris.
If the storyteller and...
Yeah, by all means.
Yes. Last time, dear listeners, we follow through on the final leg of our rite of passage. We made our way to the Marker Hotel, one of the fanciest hotels in Dublin, where our quarry, one Alistair McAlpin, was waiting for us. We aimed to get in there somehow as a group and kill him, hopefully. We get there to find that pretty much every single human being in the premises has been massacred by Alistair McAlpin in preparation for our arrival, because he seems a methodically cold and horrible Black Spiral dancer overall. We go up to meet him. We discuss things. He basically hints at the fact that everything is much bigger than we know and that we're all going to have a horrible time. But then this is the World of Darkness, so everyone kind of knew that anyway. We all lost our tempers a bit. We fought. We killed him, suffered some wounds. And then we discovered, among other things, that Aaron's father, Black Razor, I keep forgetting his actual first name. It was Michael Blackwell, has gone over to serve the Worm and is working alongside I can't imagine him working for the McAlpins. That's not his style. He's working with them. And basically, in his very charming way, basically gave Aaron an ultimatum to submit to him and make us submit to him and serve the Worm, and then Dublin will be his, and if not, then he will just kill us all. Or at least he'll put us all, he won't kill us all, he'll subject us all to tortures that which would make us wish for death. Naturally, us being Guru, we decided that we were going to, if we ever saw him again, tell him to go fuck himself, and then force him to actually probably go fuck himself in some horrible fashion. We took Alistair McAlpin's head, raced back to the cairn, presented the evidence. Taliesin was asked to give a recital, which, if you were listening last time, will know went down fairly well with both the characters and the actual players. We were given our deed names, and we're left to go and celebrate.
That's right.
We should have Chris in more games. He's the only one who actually wants to do recaps.
Well, it's just because I know all of you are so loath to do it, and I can usually give a fairly colourful, if hopefully fairly useful summation. So, yeah.
All right. So, just to does anyone want to talk about something that transpired during the last session before we move on to in between last session and the start of this session?
Nope.
All right.
Nope.
Well, in that case, so it is my understanding that we will have moved forward a couple of days until the next mood.
Yes, that is correct.
Right. Well, should we talk about what we've been doing between then and now?
Could I ask someone to either put in headphones or turn off their message sound on Roll20?
Yeah, that was very loud.
A little.
Sorry.
That's fine.
It's okay, don't worry about it.
It wasn't Skype.
What has happened in the meantime? I can do a bit of narration for the general situation. Obviously, you've been, well, frankly, most people have been licking their wounds because the set was hit pretty hard. Obviously, Althea had lost half of her arm. What's his name? Zazar had been pummeled to the point of near death.
Thoroughly humiliated,
but that's, that at least isn't a physical wound. But one of the another very serious issue, of course, is that Eric had gotten seriously wounded, and I've been out of character going back and forth again between a couple of different battle scars that he could have landed because of this. Obviously, battle scars are healable, but only in the same scene as when they are incurred. You can't heal them afterwards with something like Mother's Touch, for example. It can only happen in the same scene. But he has woken up. He is, but he's very confused. He's very he's seriously affected. He took a bullet. Has basically done a number on his head. He has lost a good deal of memory.
Oh.
And he's slow to respond and react. He doesn't seem to be fully there. So to put it into plain English, he suffered brain damage.
God damn it, you were Swedish to begin with.
Yeah.
Any. I mean, I know none of us are none of the Scepter doctors, but any indication whether or not the brain damage is irreparable?
Yes, it is irreparable, unless there's always as they say, there's always the option of a long and complicated and incredibly dangerous and far-reaching quest into the deep Umbra to find some stuff to help him, or find a way to help him to begin with. But nobody knows where to even begin looking, and at the moment he seems to be. He seems to, Kat is still trying to figure out what it is he's forgotten. He recognizes her. He knows what she is, he knows what she is and who she is. He knows what he is and what so on. I mean, he's not forgotten that he's Guru. He's not forgotten her. There are several different things, but there are major gaps in his memory, apparently. And as a result, she's not willing to risk him running around in public right now. Basically, she wants to keep him more or less under supervision because he's still got the same rage issues as he's always had, but now he's also he's confused and probably even less likely to be able to deal with it rationally and cohesively. So until further notice, she's basically grounded him. You're not going anywhere.
There's less Eric Holmgren and more Faux Hammer in there.
Yes, right now that's exactly it, really, and he can still fight. Clearly, he still knows how to fight, but as she says, she doesn't want him to run out into the streets of Dublin, get into a fist fight with an angry Irishman, and mistake him for an agent of the Worm.
Yep, makes sense.
That would probably lead to all manner of very unwanted attention.
Yep.
And consequently, as I said, she's grounded him. Althea has been healed up as much as she can. She's gritted her teeth basically, and she's determined to still be of use. But having lost her primary hand is obviously not going to be something you just get over in a couple of days or a couple of weeks even. And that is it. However, you have found out that you did some real good by finishing off Alistair McAlpin, because the moment he died, the attacks on Tara ceased.
Huh. Nice.
Wonderful.
So there are still probes attacking them, but it's not an every night, all night thing anymore.
We have quite effectively disrupted their command structure with him
Yes.
going.
Very likely that's what has happened. They might either be regrouping, or they might have been beaten off. Obviously, there's no way of knowing if it's one or the other, except, of course, that Taryn has been doing a whole lot of translation and transcribing of the files that were found in Alistair McAlpin's possession, the computer files that he had. and
sorry.
Lots
Sorry,
of noise. No,
that was my fault.
No problem. But yeah, you exactly. You actually did. You can confirm that he was meant to be the hub or the nexus of all coordination of all attacks on Tara. It also clearly states that Tara was the primary target. They wanted to destroy Tara because if they could destroy Tara, they would effectively take out the whole Fina tribe. You also have very good reason to believe that this is why this shield is up blocking off Dublin from the world around it, because this means that the Fina cannot send reinforcements into Tara to defend it.
So we have reason. It is reasonable to believe that it is the work of the McAlpins that this barrier is up, basically.
At least they're involved in it.
The barrier is a tool of the enemy.
Yes, it is a tool of the enemy. There's no question about that. It serves their purpose, and the reason for it was to destroy Tara, and in doing so, destroying quite frankly, destroying the soul of the entire Fina tribe.
Taryn would have noted at Didymdom when she sent it to Kat and Siobhan that they might use it to cut off all reinforcements to the Fina tribe, but they've also cut off all the reinforcements to themselves.
Yes.
Possibly. I mean...
Possibly.
Because, of course, as far as we can tell, there was evidence to suggest that Kenneth McAlpin had been in Dublin and then left, so it could be that it only affects us and that the enemy have complete and total access to get in and out of.
But we also believe that he left just before the barrier.
That's true.
Yeah.
In a nutshell, Pentex is a very, very big corporate, ugly, dystopian machine, right? They might be able to Stargate reinforcements in beyond the barrier.
They are this impossible thing. You know, the Pentex is this absolutely impossible entity, something which is legitimately worse than Monsanto.
the Pentex are like future dystopian Samsung.
Yes.
You look at them and you think, oh, they deal in phones, but no, they also have a military branch, and you don't know.
One day, in next couple of days, some tiny little subsidiary of one of these two companies is going to copyright claim our videos. You do realise that, don't you?
I guess that's true.
Okay, moving on. So
that's what happened, like on a grander scale in the meantime.
Yeah.
What have we done? Like, do you guys have any ideas for what you've been doing up until now? I do.
I have a question for the storyteller.
Yes, do tell.
I picked up a suitcase.
Yes, you did.
What's in the motherfucking suitcase?
The motherfucking suitcase includes or contains files, more files, literally on what's it called? On worm activity in Dublin, and plans for things that Alistair McAlpin was meant to do once you guys had been dispatched. Funnily enough, a lot of it looks like he has made notes on it or copies on it, and or not copies, but notes in the margin and such, saying irrelevant or won't have time to do this, and inconceivable given current resource level, that sort of thing. So he's basically just dissed the entire set of plans himself. The one thing he hasn't dissed, and where he has stuck with it, has been a reference to a specific person, and that specific person is, or was, apparently it's a physician by the name of Geoffrey
There's a name that's cropped up a few times in descriptions.
Yes. And he has made a note underneath that saying, where he's literally just written immortality by another name.
Wow.
Could he be the crook that changes everything about people that Sandy was talking about?
Yes, I think as I said, his name has popped up in the descriptions of both Albert Humphrey Delaney and Deirdre McLean, the two face-melted Fomori that we encountered during the Rite of Passage. He was the one. They suffered life-threatening and disfiguring injuries, which then this gentleman handled their surgery and corrupted them.
Yeah. And that is basically also what the files say. They give you that piece of information, which obviously you would otherwise not have had, since, you killed them, didn't question them, you just killed them. But that is what you have in there. You have information on Albert. You have information on Deirdre. You have information on one more person, whom I am now going to make public, so you can all see it. And there we go, all players. She is under Clan McAlpin as well. Her name is Eliza Masterson. And
look at that.
When you take a look at the little image or picture which is attached to her file, that is the young woman who was behind the counter at the hotel in Finglas.
Yeah.
Her file is thicker than the others. Apparently, she is a thoroughly failed experiment that they are very, very happy to have. Anyway.
So she wasn't so she'd obviously left the hotel when Caesar came along and started sniping all of the other...
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Well, as Daniel mentioned earlier, maybe it's worth talking about what we've all done.
Yep.
Yes.
So how long has passed? How much time?
I think I actually looked up moon phases. We are now on the 31st of July, 2015. And I think so it's been about 11 days, thereabouts.
Okay, that was longer than I anticipated.
Yeah, me too.
What moon is it?
Full moon.
Oh, god damn it. Oh, shitting fuck. Okay.
Okay, I think, that's plenty of time. I think if I would just quickly discuss the things my character has been doing, very first thing he probably did was after they'd celebrated and had their big thing the night of the end of the Rite of Passage.
Yes.
Stuck around, supported people, talked with this, that, and the other with relevant people, and then he probably would have called up his dear mum, gone to her apartment, spoken to her about what had happened at length, broken down, and then gone to bed and spent the entire next day just sleeping solidly.
Yes.
Because it's been a very, very long week, all told.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After that, I haven't really given it too much thought, but that's
probably just hung around, helped, consolidate and...
Yeah, because that's the most important thing, is helping get the sept back on its feet, really.
Exactly.
Right. Anyone else?
Me!
Yeah?
Well, Shiva will also spend the 2 first days trying and failing to compose herself again after she's broken down, possibly during the celebration. After that, she sought out Senia in order to become a more skilled fighter, because, as she put it, it's no good to have conviction if you can't back it up.
Xenia is more than happy to help.
She's also found out that she's allowed to make suggestions at the next mood, and that has had her very thoughtful.
Yes.
And I think she will, at some point, when we're all together, she will have suggested that we make the last line in Taliesin's whole poem. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
Yeah.
that we make that our pack motto.
Cool.
So we bear unbowed our endless plight.
All for it.
Mhm.
Yep. We just need a pack name.
The Care Bears.
No! No!
I think if Shiva actually said that, she would be pelted with pillows and whatever was in reach.
Yeah.
No, she wouldn't.
if Sheila actually said that, somebody would probably pick up Taryn and throw her at her.
Hey!
And I think she has told Aaron that there was something she wanted to tell him at the mood.
All right. Cool.
Good.
I'm not in for any dwarf casting here. You not throw the dwarf.
Has she considered that the mood is during a full moon?
No.
Okay. Good. Just checking.
That's normally
Was
when
it,
tribal or when septmoots are held.
Yeah. It's also when Aaron is at his absolute worst compared to like the rite of passage which took place during a crescent moon.
Yes.
Well, perhaps she knows when the moods usually take place, and she has let me change that to she has considered it and found it a non-issue.
Cool. Yep, something happened.
Scott.
Anyone else did anything?
Well, do we start directly at the mood or before it?
Actually, you start we start at the moot, but someone has been told. Two of you have been pulled aside before the moot began by cats.
All right, so we start as the mood begins.
Yes,
Okay.
but as I said, two of you.
Just a moment. It's because AJ was asking. I think because she
sorry.
wanted to kind of grasp the scope of time when
right.
she was
Yes.
doing stuff.
Yes.
She wants to find a spirit
Oh, right.
And do what?
and have it teach her something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that has to happen as part of the game.
Yes, I know.
But not happen if.
Maybe she
That
has
would
sought
take-
out the spirit and
Yeah.
knows where to find it.
That would probably be it. Yes, you would know where to find it. It'll take time to learn. So my point is, we can't do that in a couple of minutes before we continue to the next person.
Okay. Anything else, AJ?
Nope.
All right. Anyone else?
I think for Connell will be in the time following the rite of passage. He'll be at high alert, basically guarding, looking out for the sept.
Yep.
All right. Fenna?
Fenna has pretty much been recovering mentally and processing things.
Right.
All right. Aaron has, So I guess the main thing Aaron did the first couple of nights was basically damage control on the whole Al-Qaeda attack situation.
Yes.
And his little deception
Yes.
to try and keep it near to the ground.
Oh,
on
you succeeded quite spectacularly. People are looking for white supremacist.
Daniel, it wasn't Al-Qaeda, it was neo-Nazis.
Yes.
Get
Exactly.
your own misdirection straight.
I mean, I'm such a deceptive guy, I can't see through my own deceptions.
Oh, come on. So that's the. It has worked, and people believe that neo-Nazis were behind the attack.
Wonderful. Then, as a thing, I mean, this is a thing I guess would have happened during our party, is that we lots basically present a gift to Connell, right? That's about as good a time as any.
Right.
During our mood party, because like the rite of passage took place overrode Connell's birthday.
True. Right. It did.
So at the post rite of passage party, we've pulled money together and bought him a car. So that's a thing. I don't know if he's like legally allowed to drive it, but none of us think he cares.
Nope. That's pretty cool.
Then there's at one point, I think a couple of nights before the mood, he's been in the Umbra on an introspective little journey, and has met a loon, and that has taught him his tribe gift.
Right, yeah. You have that. You have your tribe gifts, obviously. So, yeah. Good.
It's a good point, actually.
All right.
Okay.
I think it's funny that after last time, Finna has learned how to be super good at switching from offense to defense when she just chose to power through the attack and still be on the offense.
Yeah, well. She also saw what nearly happened to Connell in doing so that might have taught her a lesson.
It's true.
And, yeah.
I learned Fairy Fire. A.k.a. Dancing
All right.
Lights.
What were you going to ask, Chris?
So do we all just announce? Should we all just announce our first tribal gifts here for the sake of?
Well, if
Let's do it.
you want, yeah.
For the sake of the audience and so on, sure. I mentioned it, so let me go first in that case. Aaron ventured into the Umbra, found, talked to, and learned from a loon spirit, spirit of the moon. A gift, the gift of Aura of Confidence, which is a Shadow Lord gift that can be taught by any Gaian spirit.
Yep.
This has happened like in conjunction with him basically shedding the remnants of his father's influence, like just deliberately throwing them off him, and with that, like a lot of emotional baggage has been lifted from him, and combining that with an introspective talk with the spirit put him in a really good place. He's very comfortable in his own skin right now, basically because Cat didn't leverage his father's betrayal against him, but did the exact opposite.
Yeah. Indeed.
So that's Aaron done. An explanation. Aura of Confidence means that I radiate confidence. I'm immune to having my aura read, and people can't find flaws with me.
Yes. All right. Let's take Connell next. I'll just go by the list as I see it at the bottom of the screen.
Sure. Connell's tribal gift is lightning reflexes.
Right. So, yeah, basically he reacts even swifter.
Yep.
It's really good.
It is good. And Taryn?
Taryn chose Plug and Play.
Yes.
One of the best gifts in the game.
God,
Transformers porn.
I have no idea what it is, aside from a slang for Transformers porn.
Plug and Play, to put it like, to abstract it, Plug and Play allows a Glasswalker to hack the NSA mainframe with a Tamagotchi.
Pretty much.
Okay, but it's also Transformers porn, and it's all that Rasmus and I can think of every time we hear it.
There are things in life that I did not need to know about. Transformers porn is one of these things. Thank you for sharing this otherwise completely useless information with me.
It makes it gives me the expression from one of the newer, I should say, movies, a whole new meaning. Bumblebee, stop lubricating the man. Okay, Shiva? Let's get what you've learned, because we should get started as well.
Yeah, Shiva has, I guess, sought out a marsh spirit.
Yep.
Or a willowish-ish thing, I guess. And she has learned to conjure small lights.
Yeah, plenty of those in St. Stephen's Green, actually, so that's been fairly easy to find. Tally?
Yep, I have chosen him to go with Brother Scent, who, unless my story tells me otherwise, is taught to me by a servant of Unicorn. Basically, this allows me to, within certain limits, pass through situations that would otherwise get me spotted without being spotted. So, for example, the example given on the website here is that I could walk through a high society ball completely naked, covered in blood, and carrying a grand clave, and nobody would turn to look at me twice.
Yes, it's a pretty cool thing, actually.
Yes.
Yep. And Fenna?
Finna and Connell share a friendship tribal gift.
Okay, so you have lightning reflexes as well.
Yes.
It is very good.
Not having to spend willpower to abort to defense is so strong.
Flipping nice, definitely, yes.
Survival power number 1.
Yes. Okay.
So yeah, as I said, 2 people have gotten pulled aside before the moot began. More specifically, that would be Fenna and Shiva, who have been taken aside by Kat, who is smirking slightly as she says so. And Kat has basically told you that seeing as there are too few people in the set to fill out the normal positions for a moot, you guys are going to have to step in and take some responsibility. And basically this means that she has decided, at least for the time being, that Shiva is going to be the truth catcher, which means that basically when they get to the so-called cracking the bone, which means basically you have a bone which you pass around between people, and the person who holds the bone is allowed to speak. She's the one who moderates the meeting and makes sure that the person who speaks is the person with the bone, and everybody else shuts the fuck up.
This sounds an awful lot like a certain shill in a certain Lord of the Flies.
It's possible. I haven't seen that movie for years, fortunately.
Yes, fortunately.
Mm-hmm. So
she's positively beaming, and then she gets a very serious expression and is clearly going to take this very seriously.
And then Kat turns and looks at Fenna and says, "And you, my dear, are the fool."
Yay.
This means what she explains, and you guys have actually seen this in earlier moots as well. There's always a Ragabash who is allowed to play the part of Loki during all moots, even in non-Get of Fenris moots, where every time somebody gets all up on their high horse about, yes, but according to the litany, yada, 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 blah, 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 then there's a specific Ragabash who's supposed to question them and say, why? And I don't agree. I think that's a very, very stupid idea. No, clearly you have taken leave of your senses and shoved your brain where your ass is, and what's usually in your ass where your brain used to be. Stuff like that.
So grandiloquence is punishable by Ragabash.
Grandiloquence is punishable by Ragabash, and the cool thing about this is it is considered dishonorable to lose your temper and talk back to the Ragabash.
Oh, wow.
So the Ragabash can basically go to town on everyone's ass, and if they actually talk back to her, they lose honor.
Okay, guys.
Haley, we're friends, right? We're friends, right?
They are also meant to forgive her anything that she has said during the moot when the moot is over, and if they don't, they will also lose honor.
Oh, she's going to have a field day.
This is going to be rich.
It is considered a sacred duty that most Ragabashes are willing to step on each other's feet to get.
You're just rubbing this in.
So,
Yes.
I think AJ perfectly summarized this in chat. Rip people.
Yes. Clearly. They have been subjected to Fenna, absolutely. So, yes, I'm gonna run through the most of the mood fairly briefly, just so that you guys, because there's no point in spending hours and hours on the exact minutiae of this. But the way it starts out is that it is obviously opened with a howl. And just give me a second here, because again, the whole situation is up in the air because so many people have been affected by all of this, have been killed off or wounded, or half the sept is out in Tara. So, it's new people with new ranks.
Weird mood number one.
Weird mood number one. But Althea has been made the Master of the Howl, which is an honorary position where she opens every moot with a howl, either a joyful one or an angry one, depending on the situation in the sept at the time. Suffice to say, Althea sounds really pissed off when she opens this, and then After that, she follows it with another customary howl, which is a very long, very sad, and very somber one, which all moods include, which is a dirge for the dwindling number of lupus werewolves in the world, because quite frankly, it's killing off the Guru slowly. When that has been done, the master of here we go. The master of the howl, so still Althea, then begins reciting the litany. This is the first time that the fool is supposed to basically go in and jeer and taunt and so on. Does Fenna do that?
If she's supposed to, I guess she does.
Yeah, basically the whole, they read the litany, so the Guru shalt not mate with Guru, and then, typically it would be like, why not? Love is love, come on! That's
I think Finna is going to make a few of Shiva's points.
Yes.
On the litany.
I kind of imagined that was exactly what would happen.
Thank you again. I have repeating the same thing.
People, basically.
Yes.
Finna shall be the mocking voice of Shiva.
Yes. And,
how does Shiva feel about that?
Yeah, it's both good and bad, right? It's like, oh yeah, my points are being made at a mood, but it's the fool's point of view. Damn it.
But yeah, people can't actually argue back against them. So there you go. And as it says here, the fool's job is to strengthen the Guru by showing their foolishness. It's the important bit. Never agree with the fool. That just encourages her. All right.
Disagreeing with the fool also encourages her.
Yes, well, that's the problem, isn't it? Next up is an invocation called the Inner Sky, where the four winds and the inner wind are summoned from the four corners of the earth. This is done by the Master of the Rites, which of course now is Francesca, and she asks every other remaining Thurge in the Sept to help her with this invocation. This of course includes Taryn.
Who does it include?
Sorry?
I wasn't
Who does
asking.
it include?
Go on.
Taryn? Yes.
Yes. And I believe that, other than that, the only other Thurge would be Kat. And seeing as she is the Sept Alpha, she has other responsibilities. But yes, this is normally this is someone called the Caller of the Wild who makes this call, but since there are too few people, some of these things are basically joined under the Master of the Rites. Then she continues by thanking the spirits, and as she does that, all the set spirits, Raven and all the other lesser spirits who are attached to the cairn and to the sept, start closing in around you. So you have this sudden influx of spiritual energy, which basically, for one thing, gives all of you your full gnosis pool back. And you are also expected to spend a little gnosis during this, but you get it refilled at the same time. So it's like you give and you get and you give and you get. So but you end up with being completely refilled on gnosis because of this.
So like a gnosis cleansing almost?
Yes, pretty much.
Yes.
And people do feel refreshed after this part, in fact. And then comes the cracking of the bone.
Oh joy!
And the cracking of the bone is, as it says, the business of the sept is what occurs here. And
can I take a wild shot in the dark here?
Yeah, sure. Cool.
I'm going to assume first order of business is addressing the new leadership.
Yes, precisely. Kat gets up and holds out a rib. it's still bloody. It's a little sticky by now. And it's it's clearly one that she yanked out of one of the people that she and Eric fought.
Oh, good. Gotta love that coagulation.
It's pretty,
just a human femur bone.
It's a rib in this.
So it's a 10-day-old rib.
Well, it's
still bloody.
It's been in her fridge.
That's good. That's good. At least it's been preserved.
I wish you guys could see the look on Rasmus's face right now.
It doesn't stop the blood from getting icky.
I'm just thinking that's been staring at Finna every time she's opened the fridge.
It has.
And it hasn't been 10 days, it's been 2 or 3.
No, it's
Don't
been
sit
10 days.
then.
I think you ended the rite of passage around the 21st or something around that, and it's the 31st now. So yeah.
When we talked, you said it was only 3
that,
days.
that was because I hadn't checked the moon phase calendar yet at that point.
Okay.
So that's why it's been a little longer.
Okay.
Look at it from the bright side. It gave Taryn enough time to actually read all the material. And but yeah, this is the first order of business, as you say, is Kat's officially taking the mantle before all the spirits of Sept's Jarl, as she calls it, or Sept Alpha. Mm-hmm. And the spirits all agree to this and confirm this. There's no argument from them. And seeing as the Sept has already acted on her command and orders, that's also a fairly simple thing. However, the Sept leadership is more than just that. So she gives other people that there are more roles that she needs to distribute apart from the Fool and the Truth Catcher. So she makes Xenia the new Master of Challenge. This is normally also held by a Philodox and usually by the highest ranking one. But seeing as high ranking is now somewhat of a misnomer about the survivors of this set, it's she's the one who's going to be in charge of any challenges that need to be undertaken. Althea has already been named as the Master of the Howl. Eric is named the new Cairn Warder. And
Oh, that's convenient.
yeah, because that way he can't actually leave the cairn most of the time.
That's smart.
And he can still remember how to fight, and now he's officially been made the man in charge of protecting the cairn.
Which I'm sure makes him very pleased.
Well, both yes and no, because on one hand it means he has to stay put, on the other hand it means he does have a legitimate reason to hit people. Well, find people that he needs to hit.
Yes, that is the issue.
But everyone else seems to understand the wisdom in making sure that he stays within the cairn this way.
Yes,
Why do I have a feeling that after a little while he's gonna start begging people to bring people back he can beat up?
Yes.
Like, please bring someone who's gonna make some fuss so I have someone to beat up. Please, I'm bored.
I'm tempted. I am so tempted to just have to say that Taliesin would actually offer to occasionally have spars with him just to keep him, out of boredom.
That he's in Homid and you can still see him wagging his tail.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, we'll do that then.
Tonight is a bad night for talking to Eric.
Yes, but not now.
That said, next up, of course, as you already knew, Francesca is the new Master of the Rite. Joseph is confirmed as the new Sept Beta.
How does he look?
Still looks like he wants to run away.
He looks completely uncertain of whether anyone is going to accept that. And everybody, well, I don't know about you guys, but everybody else accepts it.
I have no relationship to Snickering Sneaker. AJ, you first.
Theron gives him a thumbs up and says, "Don't worry, you got this."
Then it's just something about it being a foul-smelling decision.
Aaron has no relationship with
a bitch slap after this.
No,
Hey,
you're meant
she's a
to. You're meant to.
I know
forgive,
after this.
Yeah, but you're meant to forgive what she says during the move.
It'll lose your honor.
It's just like see it in her face the minute she says that. It's just going.
I can't believe I'm about to say this, considering the circumstances, but I want to let Daniel speak now.
Yeah, let's hear it. You had no relationship, you said, with...
Yeah. I don't have any relationship to Snickering Sneaker, but I do have a relationship to Taran. And she loves that guy, so Aaron doesn't object at all.
Okay.
Oh, good. Dinner officially.
I think that's
that she just and when Taran just looks so displeased, she gets the biggest, stupidest grin.
I think,
and finally, the final sept position which is handed out here is to Theodora, who is named the sept's official Wormfoe. And Wormfoe is normally a position which is held by an Arun. Theodora is obviously a Ragabash, but it is also a position which is meant to be held by someone who is a very accomplished warrior. And Theodora most definitely is.
Yeah.
Yes.
So because she can't, it's very obvious, clear to everyone really, that the reason for this is that it's not safe to make Eric the Wormfoe, because that would mean that he wouldn't be tied geographically to staying within the cairn. So Theodora, who is the other great warrior in the sept, gets it.
Yeah, in that regard, Aaron definitely has a moment where, because I think he would know that this is a thing for Aruns.
Yeah.
I think, and because it's a full moon out, he has a moment like where he kind of huffs and is like, I could do that, right? He thinks to himself like, why, I could do that. Connell could do that. Why her? And then he remembers he likes Theodora, and then they've hunted together, and he's like, no, you know what? It's fine.
Yeah. Yes. Well, it's a full moon. You're entitled to have that moment. Plus, when that is all over, Kat looks at everyone else who hasn't already been given a position and says, for the rest of you, and I do mean everyone else, until further notice, everyone here is a functioning guardian of the cairn, which means that there will be guard shifts, and you will have to take rotations where you patrol the Bawn at night. You will have to arrange when your turn is up for that with Eric. This isn't an absolutely massive and enormous and huge cairn. We will usually only need 2 people per night, and Eric is going to be one of them. So make sure that you check in with him and that you get some kind of rotation set up, everyone. We aren't enough people around that we can just let some people not help in the active everyday protection of this cairn at this time.
Cool.
Everyone gets their magical one night with Eric.
Yes.
Yes. Once a week, date night with Eric.
Oh.
So she says this, and this is directed. Well, it's directed at everyone. I suspect it is, to a certain degree, directed at us a little bit more, because we are the new. Even if we are clear now, we are still the new.
Yeah.
We're greenhorns, right? Hey, welcome to the sept. Grab a broom.
Are we allowed? Yeah.
Yes.
Is she declaiming this to us, or is this something we can actively say something back to her? Yes, or is the...
No, you can. When she's done with this, she holds out the bone and hands it over to Shiva, and then Shiva can see who wants to speak and hand it over to them, unless she wants to speak herself first.
And I want to say that we will get to see what Taliesin has on his mind after this break.
Yes.
Good idea.
Right? We'll be right back with more Song of Tara, everyone. So catch you then.
Yep.